sort of give you a little bit of my background. I taught in high school for about 12 years. I graduated with a master's in mathematics. I was going to work at a position at a community college teaching math, and then I was going to go ahead and work a PhD in Syracuse. Well, came May, the lady whose position I was taking never handed in her resignation because her husband was a transfer. All of a sudden, it was end of May, and it was all of a sudden I found out I didn't have a job. I couldn't afford just to go to Syracuse and pay the tuition. So on a Wednesday, I ran up to the placement office, and I don't know if there's any position in mathematics. One class guy. So I went to both of them, and I called them on Wednesday and said, I'm leaving on Friday. I'd like an interview. They go give me interviews on Thursday. Wow. You know, and to make the story short, they ended up both offering me a position. I took the one in Hannibal because it was closer to Oswego or had an apartment. You know, great decision. And I played baseball in college. They gave me the varsity baseball job. That piqued my interest to keep me around a little longer, and then I went my wife there. So I was there over 10 years, and I played fast pitch softball in the Miller Beaver District in town. As you can imagine, this was quite a while ago, you know, late 70s. And Miller told him he had computerized his business. So he said to me, you know anything about computers? I said, well, I took a training course back in the 60s. I was in cars. So we went to Burroughs, IBM, all the big names, all the big names back then. And we ended up buying IBM 5110, which worked on two big 8-inch floppies.
Oh, wow.
You know, so he looked around for programs, couldn't find any that run their distributed business. So this was just before summer vacation started. He said, can you write something for me? I thought it'd be fun to try. I played around. I had no business background. But by the time school started in October, that day himself, and I came back and said, where'd you buy this program? He said, well, this guy wrote it for me. Then I started doing third-party programming for IBM.
Wow.
You know, all self-taught type of thing. And then BOCES, those in Onondaga and Madison, BOCES started hiring me to train teachers because the Apple and QRSA were just coming into classrooms. So I did that for a few years, and all of a sudden I looked at my resume and said they know nothing about computers other than what I had back in the 60s. So I was thinking about going back to grad school. So I said, I better take a computer course because I don't know what my skills are. So I went down to Auburn, the community college there, and took a course. Luckily, I had an A+ on it. So I applied to graduate school. Now, had no undergraduate computer science, but my GREs in mathematics were up there. I got in there, and I worked with another guy. He ended up chair at RIT, but he had the hardware skills, and I had the theoretical math skills. So we worked together very nicely. But both of us had a problem. The advisors, like my first advisor, I was working, this is before Windows and everything else came out, we were working user interfaces. Well, all of a sudden, he said, you know, this is after a year and a half working. He said, Bill, I got a problem on University of Edinburgh, Scotland, has given me a lifetime chair if I come over, so I'm going to take it. You're welcome to come over with me, finish your PhD. I asked my wife, I said, Francine, you don't mind if I'm gone for a year or two, do you? You know, take care of the two young kids. That thing go over too well. So I hooked up with another guy, and I didn't realize computer science. Wait a year or so, your stuff is outdated. You know, so I had to start over again. I started in artificial intelligence. Again, working about a year and a half with this guy, I wrote a program prologue that would take the geometry regions. I only got a 50 something on it. I finish it. But same thing happened. You know, he comes up to the door. The armed forces offered me triple my salary if I can work for them, because they have all this high-grade technical equipment. In, you know, the average enrollment is 3 to 6 years. So they just train somebody, they're gone. You need some way to prepare this. So having an actual system, person to go to, how to repair this equipment, that's what they had him doing. So finally I hooked up with an older gentleman, and we thought we would use artificial intelligence in education. Suppose a person has trouble with discounts or percents, you would go back and question them, you know, the place value system, you know, and sort of do that. So we had real nice lunches. I handed them some writings, and about a month later he get back to me. Again, he says, Bill, sorry to tell you this, give me 2 years salary if I retire early. So by now I did enough for about 1.25 PhD. So he says, there's a new faculty member, she's new, but she'd be interested in working with you. I ended up working with her for a year, mainly helping her write grants. And I'm coming back in the spring one day, I'm almost 50, one rank away from full professor. You know, I can't see putting a whole lot of time into this lady. She doesn't get tenure, I'm out. Or if she's new, they may not accept what she's doing towards a PhD. So finally I just said, no more. And then I was self-director. I started up the self-program here. And I was self-director for 15 years with John.
Wow,
And I still work with John.
that's great.
So that's a little bit of my background.
Yeah.
So I've been in education almost 50 years. But now I'm teaching one course. And when you're teaching a course, we're getting into stuff now. When you're teaching a course, in being a director yourself for so long, I see more than I would like to see professors that give a lecture and then ask the students to regurgitate the lecture on the next exam. The learning and everything is basically memorization a lot of times, you know, and it really doesn't get the student involved. And so first thing I'll show you here is a sample of, I got to click up here, I found out.
Course is the title of Courtesy. I will send that to you, Mr. or Miss Fifty, as the circumstances allow. Welcome to the appreciation class in which we will be studying the history of. Who would like to give me a definition of what music? Any music? What do you think? Music. What do they think? That
I'm
music
sorry, I
is?
can't make it any louder.
Anybody? Nobody? Okay, let's go to the text and we turn to page 4, and we read that music is sound in melodic or harmonic combination, whether produced by voice or instrument. Now, questions? Anybody? No? No?
Okay, this is from Mr. Holland.
Yes, I was in it all the time.
So when I probably gonna write under this. No, I gotta change. Okay. Hopefully I can have to keep learning out there and see how this works. Just before I retired, I helped develop a computer science course for education majors. And after I retired, the chair says, can you come up and teach the course you developed? So I came in, they scheduled 50 students in the lecture hall for computer science hands-on course. This included kindergarten through 12th grade. So you can match a kindergarten teacher next to a high school physics teacher, all in the same classroom. So it's difficult to teach, especially 50 students in the lecture hall. Of course, both myself and the students were frustrated doing this type of thing. And so I decided to go ahead and divide the class in half and move to a Tuesday, Thursday schedule. And I would have half attend the class in the computer lab one day, and the other half would work online. So this means we have a chance to work on the projects. You know, if I send a student home to do something with a spreadsheet or something else, and they're stuck. They're stuck. I mean, so I found moving the projects to the classroom and have view the videos, readings, everything else outside of class allowed me to work with 20, 25 students in a lab rather than 50 of them in lecture hall and say, go do this type of thing. So the incentive was there for high grade course.
Yeah.
Of course, for me, it was, especially starting out, was more work because I had to figure all the online stuff besides the lab materials and so forth. And online section, of course, there were readings from text, videos, tutorials. For instance, if we were going to work on the spreadsheet, I've been using Google Docs. You know, Google Classroom, Google Docs, all that stuff. So if they're going to use the spreadsheet, I found a good introductory videos that the students can go through, and the students already had experience because they're whiz right through them. The students were having trouble to go back and resave 2 sections of them, and then I would have a quiz when they came in. Their in-class thing for the next time, right at the beginning of class. So I could assume that they had a little bit in the lab.
Yeah.
You know, so, and of course, the websites, there's tons of stuff. There's teacher tube, all sorts of stuff on the web I would put in rather than having to sit in class and watch it. I would have them do it outside of class. So I started put a lot of thought in that way to split things up. So very seldom do we see video in 20, 25 minutes of class. So in the class, well, they did reflections. One thing I didn't know reading on this is I used a what I call 7+3 format. For instance, we would introduce a grade book in the spreadsheet. They would get 7 points out of 10 for doing the basic assignment. The 3 points were for taking that assignment and bringing it into their area, like the kindergarten, first grade teachers would be putting happy face, smiley face. You know, up. Well, the chemistry person might be putting a letter grade up. And, you know, so they would have to take the assignment to get 10 out of 10 and bring it up to their area. That's the only way I could figure out how to do it. It really bothered me to assign the whole class the same assignment, other than the basic part of it. So I changed my grading around this way. There are also 3 exams based mainly on the reading. I had the students take a large index card. They can handwrite whatever they wanted on the large index card and bring it into the exam. Because rather than test memory, I wanted to test their knowledge. If you're just testing memory regurgitation, you know, I remember my freshman, sophomore classes, students with good memories get good grades. The junior senior ones, that didn't happen so much anymore. You know, but the cards, I found out, really focused on studying on stuff they didn't know, because that's what they would put on the card, rather than trying to memorize stuff they did know. So I was able to focus, you know.
Yeah, that's another learning opportunity.
Yeah. And I titled this one, look again, whose class time is it? Whose class time belong to? Show you this clip.
Cuba. All right. Think about it. Cuba, owned by a disorganized power over 4,000 miles away. Cubans were in a constant state of revolt. In 1904, the United States decided to throw them away around and who is it? Keep the guy. Again? Keep the guy first. For the devil, cheese, and sausage. But here it is. Here it is. Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you were doing? Learning about Cuba. How this is good. Mr. Spicoli, you're on dangerous ground here. You're causing a major disturbance on my time.
You know, I've been thinking about this, Mr. Hand. If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time? Certainly there's nothing wrong with those feast on our time.
You're absolutely right, Mrs. Spicoli. It is our time. Yours, mine, and everyone else's in this room. But it is my class. Hamilton, Brant, Cornwell, up front. Mr. Spicoli has been kind enough to bring us a snack. Be my guest. Help yourselves. Get a good one.
And then the key thing of this is classroom, whose time is it, you know? And this is one reason I went to the lab type of thing. You know, the lab would be just in time lectures, this type of thing where the students are actually heavily involved. It's an hour and a half class, and the students say it goes so quickly because they're heavily involved. Okay, we'll conclude this again. You know, because the involvement of the students, the class goes quite quick. There we go. This is just a formal definition of what a hybrid class is. I thought there may be some people thinking about, you know, actually convert. We had one person who's interested in actually. I don't read through this, but this is a formal definition of a hybrid class. And then, of course, this is the current policy in hybrid classes. And notice the very last one you might be interested in.
Yes, we are interested.
Okay. You know, back when I first did it, back when I was in CELT, I basically did all the instruction design across campus. Hi, how you doing?
Oh, I survived. Curious who you were on. Nobody's online?
Yeah, there's a couple people. Oh,
Yes.
So that's the roughly the policy. Back when I started the hybrid class, policy wasn't around yet. And as a matter of fact, for CELT, we did a lot of the instructional design and so forth. I did it with a student internships type of thing. They much improved it since that time. Now, how do the students react to the hybrid thing? I do. People in education sometimes mix up the word assessment evaluation. An assessment is suppose you're doing a term paper and you give it to the professor a week or so ahead of time. And the professor says, here's some areas you can improve your paper in. You might want to add this or rework this paragraph or you left this out. Assessing your paper. At the end, when you turn it in, that's an evaluation. They put a letter grade against some standard there. And how well you meet the standard is what your letter grade is. So I like to do two things in my class. One is an assessment. I do about halfway through. I ask the students, what things you want me to keep doing in the class, what do you like? And they have to tell me why. So I'm more interested in what things, things are helping them. And then I ask, how can I improve the course? And when I say improve, it's like somebody hitting 300 in baseball, maybe they can hit 320. So I say improve isn't something that's bad, but how can I make the class better? And then I want to know how. Saying this class blanks without any way to make it better is really useful. And then I have them turn the paper over and write an assessment of their performance in the class, what they're doing, and how they can improve their own work. So I do an assessment. And then at the end is the evaluation type of thing. So I use the assessments to sort of refine the class on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times things look a lot different from the other side of the desk. So it's a good way for me to keep my finger on it. And of course, this one has to do with an assessment. Again, I can't seem to get it. So Arnold is having his kindergarten assessment here.
It's supposed to mean
So Patsy's a lot better than you.
you should. You should really.
My mom's a teacher in the school. Better than you. She's better than me.
Great.
That's the last one. That's my team coach. I better than you too.
I really appreciate your honesty. You happen to know someone who's not better than me?
I don't know that many people.
I have to go back.
I love that movie.
And you guys probably have seen some of the resources that I've come across. Universal design for learning is, you probably have seen that. That's a very important one. Open educational resources. Here's one that I found interesting. Yeah, come on. This is from University of Utah, I think, hybrid course design, and there's a ton of resources on here for lesson planning, active learning, quality course design, and so forth. It's one of the better sites I found, designing a hybrid course. And I don't go through each of these, but this is I strongly recommend that one. And of course, the rest of these you probably have seen. Remember I designed this for a teacher coming in to do that. So, but that's the one you may not have seen. That's a real nice, nice one. And then, of course, the next one here is the slide that some of my students like the best. Put your name on there to make John happy.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Around
I did it behind your back.
Do you have any questions for me?
I'd just say the other tool that I would recommend looking at is the SUNY Oscar rubric, OSCQR.
You might pop that email to me.
Yeah, sure. That's just it's a general design review template, kind of in line with Quality Matters.
Okay.
But since it's a SUNY item, we can distribute it freely if it's sort of a self-checklist, and it's really meant for any format. But it complements some of the other stuff that you pointed out.
Well, you know, one of the things I find is that being around education for 50 years, there's a lot of non-online courses that really can use a lot of improvement. Anyway.
All right, goodbye.
It's, you know, I've often have done that. And unfortunately, the people I work with that are, how should I put it out, the less effective teachers are the ones that think they're great. You know, and you know, do not want to change. I mean, it's the ones that usually teach the best are the ones that want to learn something new. It's, you know, it's sort of opposite you would hope for.
Do you mind if I check if there's anything on the chat?
Yeah, please do.
We're good.
All right.
Well, John has this set up a different way than I use my Zoom. So
Yeah, John came
Press
in
the
and said,
more. Press one. Oh, okay.
but yeah, I don't.
Okay.
So there's a couple different ways to access the chat, but we're good.
Yeah, it's different, the pro account.
Yeah,
I have a free account.
as do we all. For the most.
Yeah.
you're welcome. Formal overview of the hybrid course. As I was telling her, you know, I developed this course, computer science course for education. And Doug and Lee asked me to come and teach it after I retired. And the first time was in a lecture hall with 50 students. And and then you had kindergarten through 12th grade in that class.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just not an effective class. I wasn't happy with it either with the students. I'm breaking something.
Yeah. It's
But I decided in the spring, and it's nice when you're retired, Richard. So tell Doug I want to either change it or not teach it. You know?
Yep.
And back then you didn't have to go through all the hybrid rules they were just thinking about at that time. And I divided the class in half, 25, Tuesday, Thursday. And then I developed the online portion, and then in class portion was in the computer lab that we'd be working on projects with just time lectures, the whole thing. And, you know, I wouldn't show videos in there, the videos would be fine. I was starting a spreadsheet thing. I would assign a tutorial to bring everybody up to the same speed before they came to, on the off session. So I was able to, mesh the two pretty well. Unfortunately, as we're starting, we have some problems with people teaching thought, and I just teach 1 day a week. But that's the reason for all this extra paperwork. We had, I don't mention the guy's name, but we had one person figure he was just going to come in 1 day a week. That would be it. So. And then, of course, I would get a couple students that figure, I got to do all this work. I thought I just could, there's a student who likes a class, they come in, take a few notes, have a midterm, the final. Meanwhile, they can skip a few classes, read the book, and catch up. Those few were not happy with that.
The European model of education.
Well, good, Carrie, thank you for coming. And if you have questions, good luck in your career.
So, as I said, I'm just trying to get my bearings of everything, and
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, you've been here like 2 whole months, so,
we're going on 4 months right now.
I'm just saying you aren't gonna be able to use this excuse much longer.
Much longer. Well, and just these faculty development stuff the past couple weeks, my first exposure to.
Oh, okay.
Faculty of any sort, I came from an education background, so, so I have the basic knowledge of
sure.
what we're talking about. But I'm interested as things go further on how all these pieces,
Stop recording.
all of these pieces, fit together,
Oh,
and
sure.
how they're going to impact me and the people that I'm working with and all that kind of stuff. It just
Oh, sure.
it's how I'm in the absorbing stage, so absorbing everything and
What's interesting, you say you've been here a couple of months. People ask me if I talk to Shelton, Edward Austin Shelton.
Oh.